Hey guys, it's Steven here, back with another video. The day after Manchester City's very satisfying 3-0 victory against Marseille. Honestly, we needed that. We really needed that. Was that 5 reallys? Which would be very apt for the 5 things learned video. Seriously, that was a very reassuring performance. After a week of negativity, shall we say, after the very disappointing 1-0 draw against West Ham, this was a return to the Manchester City, well, at least something close to the Manchester City that we know and love. And this is something that we genuinely needed. So it feels nice to sit here right now and talk with some positivity and optimism about a Manchester City performance. And there are a lot of talking points. I can't go over every single talking point from the game, but as ever, you know the score by now for watching this channel. These are 5 things that personally I took from this game, and I'm sure there's plenty more, so do let us know down in the comments what stood out for you. But I'm going to start initially with the width in this team, and I forgot to get the quote. I'm going to get the quote up right now, but Guardiola did even talk about the width in this team. This is what Guardiola said about the wingers. When you play against 5 at the back, you have to make the pitch high and wide. It's like Guardiola's been reading our tweets. Finally, yes, Pep, this is what we've been saying for absolutely ages. How did it take you so long to realise this? Has the penny finally dropped for Guardiola? How nice does it hear to say that? Basically, Guardiola has realised that we've been lacking width for some time with the inverted wingers and a lack of fullbacks that can overlap. And we saw actual width last night. We saw actual players staying out wide, actually offering an alternative to the inverted wingers that we usually see. And we saw a pitch stretched. We saw wing play from Phil Foden and Sterling. Even though Foden isn't a left winger, we saw actual wing play where players would beat the man, get out wide, which of course then left space in the channels for the likes of Gundogan, who was getting forward, for Ferran Torres in the middle, of course for Zinchenko to get forward, and for Kevin De Bruyne. Oh, it was absolutely perfect, and I want to see more of that. I'm sorry, I genuinely have missed that. If you watch me regularly, you know that I've got nothing against Mahrez and people like that, and Sterling playing left, got nothing against them. But what I genuinely prefer is actual wingers who can play out wide and stretch the pitch, which then creates space. I got so frustrated watching City against West Ham because often I would see Sterling and Mahrez kind of cutting in, and they'd be really tight, and what you'd have a really compressed kind of like forward line, only occupying about 60% of the width of the whole pitch, and you'd have no one going out wide at all. So you had all City's players trying to go through the middle, and it was very easy to defend against. I don't like it. City at the best. I think of City at the best, and I think of Kevin De Bruyne getting in those channels after linking up with Sterling on the right or something like that. I think of David Silva linking up with Sane. I see City really kind of occupying every single inch of that final third out wide, and that's what I think of Manchester City doing, and that's not been City for some time. And it was great to hear Guardiola acknowledge how good that width would be. Guardiola, please keep doing that. I mean, even if it's with Foden and Sterling, whatever it is, even if it's like Mahrez sometimes on left, whatever, I don't care. Sometimes please do find that width. It was so important. I already nearly talked about Phil Foden then, but I didn't because I want to talk about him right now. I'm sorry, Phil Foden is key. Play Phil Foden. I've got one thing for you, Guardiola. Play Phil Foden. It's not complicated. It's just literally 3 words. Play Phil Foden. Honestly, someone kind of tattoo that on Guardiola's hands, so every time he's doing that, or every time he's picking up water, he sees it. Play Phil Foden. It really is that simple. Phil Foden once again was absolutely excellent. I've been banging this drum for what feels like years now, but at the moment Phil Foden is one of our most creative and most intelligent and most crucial players. I genuinely believe this to be true. I don't care where he's on the pitch. His energy, his infectiousness, it's just absolutely vital to our team in general. What Phil Foden brings on the pitch is a willingness to make things happen. He is good for an assist or a key pass or a goal. Regardless of how well he plays on the night, he will always get at least one of those 3. And that's what I love about Phil Foden. I mean, there was one bit though in particular which made me purr. There was this little touch where the ball was pinged across and he brought it over his head and he took it down on the volley, then another little touch. Just mesmeric. It was like watching a young David Silva. And there was times tonight where he did beautiful 1-2s on the touchline, which reminded me of Leroy Sane running down the wing. He was crucial as well for, I think it was Gundogan's goal where he put a crossover. Sterling did really well to head it across for Gundogan. But Foden tonight just showed how crucial he is to our current system. His energy is genuinely infectious. His dynamism, his touch, his work rate. I want to see Phil Foden linking up with a forward line of energy. I want to see a forward line at some point, by the way, Gabriel Jesus, Sterling and Torres, with someone like Phil Foden and De Bruyne linking up with them. That energy, Foden is absolutely quality. He is here for the here and now. Please, Guardiola, use him. And likewise, the next one, Dias. Does it work? It doesn't work. I've tried a composite with Ruben Dias and Laporte. Deporte, Lapias. I don't know. All I'm trying to say is Ruben Dias and Laporte, guys. This is literally these. If Phil Foden's the one, these are the two. Seriously, we've got a partnership. I think we've got a partnership. Seriously, I mean, it could end up being Dias and Ake. It could be like Dake or Lepac. I'm not even going to go there. It looks like we actually have a partnership. It's just wonderful. What could we want? I was so happy watching the team last night. Genuinely watching City be so strong and so solid. This isn't the Manchester City that I've known. This was a defence that was more than capable of dealing with anything thrown their way. Both reading the game so elegantly, both so comfortable on the ball, both so physical. Dias in particular, I thought was absolutely excellent. It looks like we've struck gold with this guy. Genuinely an absolute leader. And I can't remember the last time I was this excited about a centre-back pairing. I think it's when we saw a bit of Stones and Laporte together when Stones was looking at his best. I remember being really excited. But something tells me that Dias is going to be a little bit better than John Stones. It's not just because they both have quality, it's because Dias is clearly a born winner. He's clearly an absolute warrior. He's clearly unflappable. Dias and Laporte last night showed budding signs of a potential centre-back partnership that could last best part of a decade, seriously. They could last for an awful long time, which is incredibly encouraging. Dias, he wasn't our first or second choice according to reports, but I'm glad we got him. Seriously, I think this guy is genuinely the real deal. And alongside another guy, which we'll get onto in a minute, alongside the likes of Walker and Laporte and maybe Ake one day, we could have an incredibly strong defence, a genuine like world-class defence there. Laporte and Dias, Lapias there, or Deporte, whatever you want to call it, they are the future. They were so stable. And that's what Guardiola said, by the way. He said, we were so stable, Ruben and Merrick were good. You're right, Guardiola, you're absolutely right. That is the future. You've heard it here first. It's the future. Likewise, I want to just talk about Kyle Walker. And Guardiola went on to say after that quote about Dias and Laporte, he said Kyle is in the best form since we are together here in Manchester. 4 years, 5 years. He's right. You know what? Guardiola is absolutely spot on. Walker, I don't think we give Walker anywhere near enough credit. I know I said that a few times, but I really want to bang this drum because once again, Walker was just fantastic, absolutely immense. I mean, we know he's freakishly good in terms of his pace and physicality, but I don't think sometimes we realise just how strong and how fast and how reliable he is. His reading of the game was fantastic tonight. He gave City's attackers and midfielders a licence to go forward just because of how good defensively he is. Kyle Walker won't ever go down with the same iconic status as someone like Zabaleta because he doesn't breed that, he's not that passionate, fiery guy. But as a footballer, he's just as good. He really is just as good. He's just as important to this side as Zabaleta was to those sides. He won't go down in the same way because he hasn't got a head man, he hasn't got that same passion, and maybe not got that same, well, he definitely hasn't got that same likability factor that Zabaleta did. But as a player, I'm sorry, he's a warrior too. He's an absolute warrior, and he's one of our greatest ever fullbacks. Kyle Walker is absolutely world class. I'm so glad that Guardiola pointed that out because it needed to be said. Another performance, and so far tonight I've talked about Dias, Laporte, and Walker all being excellent. Zinchenko was good, by the way. I'm just saying, with 3 players that I think genuinely could be world class there in that defence, which is just, it's wonderful to say, isn't it? It's wonderful to say out loud that our defence could be that solid all of a sudden. And finally, I want to talk about Ferran Torres. Because I thought he was good, I thought he was good. I want to talk about him for a few different reasons. Mainly because I thought he was good. I mean, Guardiola had this to say about Ferran Torres. He said he's settled really well. He's not a striker. I would congratulate him for making the effort to play in this position. He scored. It's not easy against 5 defenders. We don't have many options until Sergio and Gabriel came back. And I actually agree with Guardiola. I don't think he's a striker at all. Even though he made some good runs, I don't think he has a natural striker's kind of like link-up play or anything like that. A link-up play as a striker is very difficult. When we put players through the middle who can finish, we usually think that makes them a striker. Football isn't as simple as that. What makes you a striker is your ability to kind of get involved, to link up play, and know when to kind of come short and receive the ball and all that kind of stuff. And even though Torres was making some nice runs in behind, I don't think he has the full repertoire to be a great striker, though he is a good finisher. And once again, he scored a good goal. But for now, though, as a body to stand there and run through the middle and be a bit more physical, I'm more than happy to be him as the striker option. I mean, I think he's a better bet than Sterling because, one, I think he's a better finisher than Sterling by some way, and he's a more physical presence as well. He's a lot stronger. I guess he's a lot bigger than Sterling, so he's probably going to be better in the air if he crosses him. Torres could actually get a few games here now as a striker through the middle. I don't think he's a natural, genuinely, but I think he's probably the best option. I don't think it should be Sterling. I don't think it should be Phil Foden or Bernardo. For now, I mean, personally, I think it should be Liam Delap. I think he's the best option because he's literally a striker. But for now, though, Torres, I mean, the guys, we've got a snip here. For now, I think he could be a central midfielder, sorry. He could be a striker for us. I'm absolutely fine with that. He's a backup option, but it works for me. He's probably the best of our non-striker options going through the middle, I reckon, potentially. And also, what I just to say, he's just good, isn't he? He's just good. He's genuinely good. He wasn't excellent last night or anything like that, but he was genuinely good once again. 20 million is genuinely a snip for the player that we potentially got. I can't wait to see a forward line of Torres one day, and Gabriel Jesus and Sterling and Foden off them, and Bernardo and De Bruyne and all this kind of stuff. I can't wait one day to see that, because the energy that they'll bring, Torres is absolutely quality. Guys, they are the 5 things that I personally took from this game. City were good. We were very, very good. I enjoyed it. A return to form. Let me know down in the comments what you made of the game, of course. And please do like, comment, subscribe, and all the usual stuff. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. It would mean an awful lot if you don't mind. Big love to you all. Go watch the match reaction video from last night. For now, though, City 3-0. Life's good again. Come on.